first Clásico is a charm for Barcelona's Neymar, not for Madrid's Bale. Barcelona, Spain. There was a moment, just after the clocks at Camp Nou Stadium showed 16 minutes had been played on Saturday, when Gareth Bale sneaked a quick glance at the crowd. It was not surprising. The Barcelona fans here erupt at 17 minutes 14 seconds of each half as a way to call for Catalonia and independence, their chants evoking the year 1714, when the region lost its last traces of full autonomy to Spain. So Bale looked, if but for a second. And why not? This was the first Clásico for Bale, the Welsh wing who joined Real Madrid from Tottenham, and the cries from all reaches of the stadium were surely curious. There were fans holding placards. There were screams and shouts. There was a giant flag. A little way away from Bale, though, another Clásico debutant had his eyes down. Neymar, the Brazilian wunderkind, was beginning to run through the left side of the penalty area. Andrés Iniesta, the Barcelona playmaker, coolly slipped a pass through a seam in the Madrid defense and Neymar scored, with help from a slight deflection, on a crisp shot to the far post. Bedlam ensued. Neymar sprinted toward the end line and was surrounded by his teammates. The crowd, announced at 98,761, erupted. And Bale, along with his Madrid teammates, simply stared as Neymar's goal opened a glorious evening for Barcelona, which completed a 2-1 victory over its biggest rival. Coming into the game, the focus had been on Neymar and Bale, who both commanded enormous sums of money in summer deals that brought them to Spain. By the end of the night, however, the outcome of that matchup was as one-sided as the one between the teams at large, as Bale barely distinguished himself before being substituted after an hour, and Neymar received a long and loud standing ovation when he exited with 12 minutes remaining. After continuing a tradition of Brazilians making impacts for Barcelona in their Clásico debuts, like Romario and Rivaldo, Neymar scored in his first appearance in the rivalry and was active throughout, combining well with Iniesta, Xavi and Lionel Messi as Barcelona controlled most of the play. Bale, however, will most likely remember the night for two shots he blasted well over the crossbar and a yellow card he drew after a dangerous challenge. Unfortunately for Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti, Bale was not his only player who was not effective. Cristiano Ronaldo had scored in each of his last 6 games at Camp Nou, but he was stifled this time, grimacing after Victor Valdés saved his best chance with a low dive in the 57th minute. Ronaldo also begged for a penalty after falling under a challenge from Javier Mascherano 13 minutes later, but the referee Alberto Undiano Malonzo was unmoved. Ronaldo did contribute a strong run and slip pass to set up Jess Rodriguez for a goal in second-half stoppage time, but it was far too late, as Alexis Sanchez's 78th-minute chip, a sublime bit of awareness from the substitute Sanchez, had pushed the game out of reach. The victory was Barcelona's first in its last 6 games against Madrid and lifted it 6 points ahead of Madrid in the Spanish league standings through 10 games of the 38-game season. Although it had been 238 days since the teams had last faced each other, many believe this was just the first of several Clásicos this season, as the teams will most likely meet in cup competition or, perhaps, the Champions League. That was one reason some scalpers outside Camp Nou before the game found the market for tickets slightly depressed. Some reported asking prices that were only about 2 times face value.